After the meeting, I felt more bewildered than I did when I entered the room. For the simple fact, I was told about the meeting maybe like an hour or two before it was to take place. And yes, I was invited. I got an invitation from a community person, and I went. I was surprised that of the three people that was in the room, and then the fact that Douglas County Attorney Don Klein was not in the room, and so the governor was making it seem like he called this meeting and that he had not invited Don Klein. So if we're coming to talk about what has happened and the verdict, how come the person who made the motion was not in the room? So he apologized for that. So on one sense, I was shocked for the governor, the other for the mayor. And I had heard in various meetings that I was on, or text that was coming to me, that the city was shutting down, that workers downtown was being told to send their workers home, or businesses, you need to close up. So of course my mind went to, oh, they getting ready to make a statement. So I asked the mayor. She said no, she did not know. She had been trying to reach Don Klein, and he didn't answer. Somebody had to know something. So who shut down the city and county offices? So that was a concern for me. And then I have to pray for Chief Smotter. Chief Smotter was put on the plank. They let him walk on the plank by himself. Yes, it was the police department's responsibility to go to that scene when shots was fired, or a call for someone down, to do the investigation, to detain or arrest someone, to get the evidence, and then give it to the district attorney. So he was trying to speak and share all of that. I said all of that to say that the governor wanted to know who was in the room. Now, if you call this meeting, you don't know the people that you invited or you told, so then you don't know the residents or the leaders, so-called leaders in North Omaha, because we had to say our name.
I have to thank you for the context, and I'm only getting to the end because we're on a time crunch. I'm sorry that the meeting went that way, first of all. From your perspective, though, what was the comment made by the governor when everything went awry? Can you explain that to me?
The way I heard it, and we were in the conversation about safety, one of the pastors lifted up and said, Governor, y'all have a different understanding of what safety is, and how you look at it versus how we as African Americans or people. I'm sorry.
Can you restate that, please?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I know.
It's going to mess up your
I know.
commentary.
Okay. Okay. The question was,
How
okay.
did you hear it?
Okay. So the pastor was making a statement about safety, and he shared what he had to say, and then the governor replied saying that he had a problem with him talking about manufactured lawns or manicured lawns. And so in that sense, to me, what I heard was that that's the problem I have with you people. He did say you people. I was stunned. Yes, there were preachers as well as community leaders that got up and walked out. I know at this point nobody wants to say who all was in the room, but yes, I was sitting there, and in order to de-escalate the situation, I believe those who took it to a total personal sense got up and walked out. They didn't walk out somewhat quietly. They walked out and was just upset. But in the midst, there were some of us who stayed in the room, because there is still a conversation that's going on. I'm not sure what the governor was going to say after he realized that that statement upset some people. And I'm appalled that he even thought he had to go on the news to send his apology. I was in the room. You didn't apologize to me. I considered that you were talking to me as you people because everyone in that room was African American except for the 3 of them and their staff, and then 1 African American police officer.
That's all I needed to know. Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? We have to continue to work on our relationship. We have to build a relationship where we are working together for all of the residents of Omaha, Douglas County, and the state of Nebraska. We can no longer be just a percentage of Nebraska or the city of Omaha. We have to come together and see all human beings as human beings. Where do we go from here? James Scurlock?
Mm-hmm.
James Scurlock was an African American male. He was a human being. His life did and still does matter. It is a shame that we are trying to say what he did. We cannot hear from him. He is not alive to give his point of view of the actions that happened. He could have been the hero. Trying to stop the man was shooting. Whether he was shooting warning shots or what, bullets don't have no one's name on. It could have hit anyone. And the fact that he jumped on him, he could have been taking away the gun or de-escalating the situation. We'll never know. The cops, Douglas County, Don Klein, only heard from one side. And you made a decision. You held him for 24 hours. You had 48 hours. Where is justice in that? You could have made sure that you put the call out for other videos, for other witnesses to come forward. Why did you detain him and let him go within 24 hours? Who was calling you? Who was pressuring you to jump to conclusions and to make that rash decision? So that's where we've got to get back. It's not about what the governor said and calling us you people. A young man lost his life, and we are talking about Black Lives Matter. This city, this Douglas County attorney just told us that a black life did not matter.
So Reverend, right?
Reverend, pastor, whatever. Yeah, I go by all names.
I'm not Reverend, but
Right.
I'm pastor you if you're not. So
No, I'm the pastor. I pastor this church.
So yes, and I agree with what you're saying. Like I'm a black man myself. All lives matter, and what you said, I definitely agree with what you're saying right there. But I do want to touch upon how you felt with what the governor said. I know I don't want to keep dwelling on that one point right there, but it's gonna where our story is gonna going around over here. So when he did say what he said, and you said you were in the room, he didn't apologize to you specifically. He made a post or talked to the news later. How did you feel at the moment? How did you take it when those words were uttered out of his mouth?
I felt demoralized. I felt belittled. But then I did not allow what he said to take me to the lowest level because I know who I am. I know what I have to offer. And if that's how he views us, it came out of his lips. It came out of his heart. It was on his mind that he said that. So that told me who and what he is, whether he'll say it or not. Because how could you deem you people? I'm just as equal as you. You might be the governor, but I am still a human being, a child of God, a female African American. So what you people meant, I don't know what he meant by it, but it seems as if he was saying that I've got a problem with y'all. I got a problem with black people. And I'm not living in the 60s.
Thank you for being so candid about that. Then my last question is, you stayed. A lot of people got up. You saying that you got offended, and a lot of people got offended. They took that to heart and they said, we're out of here. You stayed. How did the meeting go afterwards?
The meeting afterward fizzled out. It's almost as if you left a soda and it just fizzled out and people didn't hardly say anything, but then other people began to leave. They were still stunned. I could not bring myself, in all honesty, to go up to speak to him. Because passionately as I am, even talking to you, my octave raises a notch or two. He would have took it as me being aggressive or an angry black woman if I would have said something to him or to any of those that were in the building. And so it was one that, yes, you shook me, but you didn't shake me too far to the point that I'm not still going to get out here to do the work that needs to be done to help people and to fight for justice and to make sure that we had a peaceful night last night, that everyone could still protest in their own way. But then how do you get people to realize that a curfew is a curfew? And when we think of curfew, when we were teenagers, we pushed the edge of a curfew. We didn't come in at 11:59 when we knew our curfew was at 12. It might have been 12:05. It might have been 12:30. So, to put a curfew, what are you saying to the residents of Omaha? You don't trust them, but you never acknowledge that you had outside agitators here in the city. I never once heard that before that day and that meeting. They didn't say it in none of those other press conferences. They never named that people were from out of the state.
Then, lastly, my last question is we're done over here. What message do you have for Governor Ricketts now that it's been a day? You felt how you felt over there. He said what he said. What do you have to say to him?
Governor Ricketts, you people is not the proper way to address an African American. It's telling me that you feel that you are superior and that we're on your plantation. I am not on your plantation. You do not demoralize me by labeling me as a group. You have to deal with me as a human being, as an individual. And yes, he disrespected everyone in that room. And yes, the African American men might have took it personal, but I also took it personal. But then I have to rise above what he said as well as his actions that he has done in the past, in the present, and probably will continue to do in the future, that you people is not how you talk to African Americans.